What do you think of your best behavior on first date? Being on your best behavior isn't about being fake. Just as with a job interview, you put your best foot forward on the first few dates. Yet I feel like there is some room between your best behavior and pretending to be a fake version of yourself. LOL. I've been duped by people that were on their best behavior and turned out to be double bags. And it took longer than a few dates to realize it. Well, that's the thing though. With the first date you obviously want to make the best impression. But after a number of dates you usually start seeing some cracks. No one's perfect, even when we try to seem like it. I also feel like there are some cracks if you are upfront about them right away. Some people will reject you, whereas some people are more likely to be accepting if you share them after you get to know each other a bit. I think there is some overlap there. Being on your best behavior is nothing more than purposely altering your normal behavior to make a good impression. It's a fine line between being gallant and being deceitful. It depends on who you really are and what your intentions are. It's perspective. If you think he's an asshole, he's deceptive. If he doesn't have bad intentions, he's on his best behavior / gallant. Amen to that. LOL. Oh gosh, spoken like the truth. MMMHM. Then, if the date is amazing, just putting your best foot forward forever. Especially with the people you love. It's easy to get complacent. Keep kicking ass. So, never be yourself. It's easy to act like a knight in shining armor while things are going well. What about when the other person stops trying to give you need? Keep serving selflessly forever? No thanks. Give out equivalent effort. I'll do what you want as long as you do what I want. You stop, then I stop. Nah, break out the crazy on the first date if you're looking for long term. They need to know what they're getting themselves into. Nah, I'm good, but thanks for being honest. Actually, you know what? I used to, and maybe have a semi-recently, would put my life story out there in conversation just to see if the guy would run away. As a test, you know. Like, let me see how crazy I can show this person I was, and if they stay, yay, okay. But if not, them, you know. But yeah, it worked half of the time, actually maybe 75%, but nothing lasting. LOL. Be careful. Did this once and they turned out be a narcissist. They used everything I told them against me and it was terrible. I'm a lot more careful who I trust these days. Let the flags fly. I see why you say that, but I disagree. The difference is that at work and in an interview, I'll always be on my best behavior, so as far as they're concerned that's just how I am and they don't need to see my more relaxed modus operandi. Whereas if I'm dating someone, I won't always be on my best behavior. A more reserved feminine version of myself. So they deserve to know who they're really seeing from day one. Imo. I always appreciate when other people do that for me. Yeah, but it's super formal and you kinda have to have a stick up your butt and be super professional during a job interview. And tons of people lie on their resume. You're not entirely authentic as you're trying to make yourself look good to get the job. Which is kinda fake. Unless you have a perfect personality, you need to rein it in a bit. I used to a wide open book and spend the whole time telling my date all my flaws. And get massively drunk out of nervousness. Upvote for properly using rain. Wish I had another upvote for the rest. Not cool, dude. Nobody likers a word usage fanatic who rains on everyone's parade. Thanks man, you seem really polite. Parents probably rained you well. I've always done this and I appreciate when others do the same. I want my date to know that I'm an open book and a jokester from day one. Because them saying they're interested in the more feminine and reserved version of myself means nothing. It's not that it's disingenuous, but it's not my daily behavior. Just strive to be your best you every day. Whatever that looks like. Spontaneously combusts. This. My normal behavior is always my best behavior. I say, don't change who you are, but also keep your quirks. and idiosyncrasies in check as you would for the people you're not super close with. Because though you'd want your partner to understand them, a stranger might just be put off. It's a delicate balance. But once you establish some trust and understanding, you can be more yourself. This is my experience at least. This is an interesting take. I might consider it. I've always just been annoyed. If I'm with a guy who doesn't even bother to put his best self forward on the first date, I think everyone knows it only goes downhill from there as comfort levels increase. So if we start with a bad attitude and a dirty shirt, I'm just not here for it. I don't think that's what OP was describing. You wouldn't have a bad attitude when hanging out with people you know in daily life, I assume. Have to land a data first. Yup, absolutely the same can apply to a job interview. I have found that if you are just witty and not seem nervous and the same in a date, they gonna call you back. MLOL, yes, they will just be you and do you. Try your best to customize any situation to make it personable to where you can relate most. I jokingly tell ladies I stop to put dogs. But like, I do. Each and every dog, as long as the owner is okay with it. Quit worrying about whether they like you. Focus on whether you like them. People get dates? I don't know. Treating a first date like you're hanging out with your friends sounds like a good way to get friend-zoned every time. If your best behavior is a fake person, then maybe your personality isn't that desirable. Treating a first date like you're hanging out with your friends sounds like a good way to get friend-zoned every time, only if they're not that interested in you to begin with. Which they won't be if they think you're not interested. Why the FK would you be on a date with someone you aren't interested in? Because sometimes you go on a date with someone and realize you're not that into them. After all, or you guys end up having zero chemistry. Yeah, you still had enough interest to wind up on the date to begin with. If I'm giving off friend vibes, then that's what she's going to think I'm interested in being. And I'll put myself in the friend zone unintentionally. Okay. I am so sick and tired of reading these coded comments. Just say what you really want to say, people. Geez. I agree. Some people are doing the most just to get you to like them these days. My first date with my husband, I didn't hold anything back. I was upfront and honest about all my trauma, mental health issues, and quirks. I also am chronically ill and made sure he knew that from the beginning. As a bonus, I also got super sick at some point into the date. He got to see me at my very worst from the beginning. It worked out. I think there's the assumption on both sides that the other person wants to be nice. So if I notice someone isn't even trying on the first few dates, I think they will be a nightmare to be around long term. I think a relationship is work and love is a practice. And I have met a few entitled women who seem to be looking for the perfect person to put up with them. And I always thought it was a shame they were stuck in this mindset. I am now finally dating someone who makes an effort to be sweet, and I do too. And we still tell each other how we are and what we've done in the past. And we text a lot about our everyday life and how we act on daily basis. But we don't consider each other our emotional dumpsters, while encouraging each other in our activities. And I hope this respect will remain. Here's the thing. Girls are way pickier than guys. Most of them are constantly filtering you. And this is why most guys don't usually get a second date. Be yourself and be playful, but also don't show too much too soon. Women have standards and apply them. This is terrible advice. People are looking for reason to pursue a relationship with you, so when dating, especially as men, we cannot afford to risk something that a friend or eventual partner will be okay with once they know you, whereas a stranger with their guard up might discard you for in the early stages. This sounds like make it easy to filter another out advice. I get it, women are inundated with potential options, so weeding the food from the bad needs to be done quickly. But like you said, you gotta get past that guarded state before you can actually know someone. The contradiction for me is incredible. The real me is super relaxed, so I need to be fake now? Be the best version of yourself. That's the way I look at it. You're right that best behavior isn't a good approach. It implies politeness and formality, which can get in the way of really getting to know someone. I tend to let burps out when I'm on my own, but thanks for reassuring me that it's okay to let it all out. In all seriousness, there's a big difference between pretending to be someone you're not, and being on your best behavior, and you are conflating the two. You don't want to be fake. But there's still a version of yourself that is relaxed while treating this person like they are someone you just met, which they are. It's not like you can either be yourself or pretend. Be yourself. And be on your best behavior. If I was really myself, I wouldn't even make conversation amount. So you eventually go back to not making conversation once a relationship is established? I mean more so that I'm super shy with new people and not outgoing at all. So my interaction in social settings is me trying pretty hard. It doesn't come naturally to me. But obviously during a date you need to put forward effort in the conversation and be engaged. Once I'm comfortable with someone, then I talk their ear off. Oh, bless your heart. I hope you get more comfortable in social settings. I used to have anxiety and panic attacks when socializing in new environments. I don't know how I grew out of it. Maybe I got more confident over time? It's certainly a better way to experience life nowadays. That's a good question. Like once you're living with the person, do you just revert to your natural state? I can't imagine having to be the best version 24/7 while living with a person in my own damn house. How do you not fall apart? And not let your freak flag fly, in a sense, in your own place? I mean, if you can keep it going until you're married, then the deal is sealed. Divorce is expensive, or so I've heard, so marry someone cheap. I think everyone becomes more naturally themselves the longer they're with someone. Interaction becomes much more effortless. Plus, we're just talking about a first date. The time between a first date and living together should be long enough that you feel pretty comfortable and relaxed around the person by the time you decide to live together. I can't imagine not being able to be yourself at that point. Yes and no, my regular actual self doesn't first with everyone I interact with. I'm a very friendly dude, but I'm on a date, then I have to let her know I'm romantically/sexually interested in her, otherwise she's going to think I'm just interested in being friends only. You don't want to accidentally put yourself in the friend zone. Be yourself, but also flirt/turn on the charm when you're on a date, but also don't overdo it. After having terrible dating experiences, I finally did that and it totally worked. I managed to find my weirdo who doesn't make me self-conscious. Told him on the first date I like to do drugs with my friends sometimes. That I like to play games at work and a bunch of things, usually filter out, and they really liked it. Because he didn't have to overthink anything with me, as I was super upfront from the get-go. And although he is not a party type, much being introverted, he likes that I have my wide circle of friends to party with, and when I need a nice relaxed night, and he's there waiting for me with snacks and blankets. He didn't give a shit that I was somewhat a bit disorganized and chaotic. And I think he likes that about me, and I like his more calm nature. Honestly, I would die to find someone like this who likes me for the person that I am, no filter. You will get your dream love one day. Destiny will come with true manner. Thanks for watching.